Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Eric,
And I'm Ty.
and we're Shantottocast back with another spoiler for Opus 26.
Yep, there's 26 of them
Man,
now.
God, this game has been going on so long
Yeah.
at this point, and I'm so proud of that fact.
Yeah, it was funny. I was reflecting on that the other day when I was talking to someone about E3, and I was just like, oh yeah, that was, oh god. I was like, oh, that
Yeah,
was
eight
like
eight
eight
years ago
years
now.
ago, and then I was like, oh, I've been playing Final Fantasy for 8 years. That's crazy. Final Fantasy's been my
Yeah,
main game for eight
yeah,
years, like way more than Yu-Gi-Oh. So
yeah. Go
yeah,
figure, man.
go figure. But
Oh,
it's been a long path, and we've been getting spoiler cards. Obviously, very happy about it. Quick, mandatory thank you to Sarah, to Hobby Japan, to Square Enix, to
absolutely.
everybody. Um, Always happy to do this. Always proud to do this. And are you ready?
Let's do it. All right, you wanna do the basics or should I?
Uh,
It's
I'll,
always it's
I'll.
always the
I
question.
think you did it last time, so I'll do it this time. But it's also kind of funny that I'm doing it this time, only because our last card was the Mandragoras, and this is
Yep.
just one of them. This is Mandragora, a two-drop Earth
Yes.
monster, a Cat 11, drop Mandragora. During your turn, Mandragora also becomes a forward with 7,000 power. When Mandragora deals damage to a forward, break it. And when Mandragora deals damage to an opponent, put Mandragora into the break zone. When you do so, choose one card in your break zone, add it to your hand. And then obviously, while it's alive, it has 7,000 power.
Oh, and worth noting, it has multiplay because it is not a collection of Mandragoras. It's just one of them. It's a generic Mandragora. Um, so initial thoughts on this card. I think it's fun. I really like it.
Uh,
I don't, I'm waiting to see how the cycle shakes out because this is definitely, as usual, part of a cycle.
yeah, or at least that's what we
Um,
think. I don't think we've seen anything in a similar vein yet. Um, but
I mean, look, it's got Death Touch. That's all I care about.
yeah,
If you got Death Touch on a little two drop, like that's awesome. I like that.
yeah, because I think one of the main memes, or one of the first reactions that you and I both had to it was like, "Oh, this is a Kusith stapled to a Tonberry." Like
Yeah,
it's interesting where it does have this kind of death, yeah, where yeah, it has death touch unless the thing has first strike. It has death touch, and then also um, well, when it deals damage, put it into the break zone, like add a card. So you're kind of forcing the opponent to choose between, all right, I have this forward. Do I want to lose it, or do I want them to get a card from their break zone back?
right. Or do I spend resources from hand to kill it? Whatever. Like, point is, as usual with a lot of cards that come in these common monster forms, there's always you force a decision. And I like that kind of stuff. I like those kind of like mandatory responses situations where it's like, yeah, maybe you don't care that your opponent's grabbing something back from break zone, but like also consider they get a card back from break zone. It's
Yeah.
it's not just limited to a summon or a forward or a backup. It is a card. It could be anything. That is extremely useful unless your opponent is also playing an Earth and has a Mist Dragon. Um, I like this a lot. I think this has some usefulness, some validity. I think monster decks are going to find a way to shoehorn this in. Um, yeah, no, I think this is super super useful and cheeky.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It brings an interesting decision from the opponent, from the person facing this down, of like, as you pointed out, like if you're also an Earth, then you might want to grip onto a Mist Dragon for this, because it's just like, oh well, they're dealing me a point of damage, they lose a forward, and then I also get to remove everything. Like it leads to interesting interactions in that way, but it's also a death toucher. Like it's also just, hey, do you want to lose something? Like you're gonna lose something, and the fact that this is all with just the cost two, uh,
Yep.
like that's such a good rate for that. Like, I am wondering if it's kind of like an aggro card. Something that I've noticed with specifically with like Moth Slasher, you know, is like Moth Slasher is a very aggro card because it is only during your turn, but you're going to be swinging out with it. You're going to be trying to just like get as much work in with it as possible. And
Mm-hmm.
Mandragora swaps out that kind of repeated damage with, oh, you get something back. And also worth pointing out, it doesn't say you can't grab another Mandragora. So if you have two out, you could just you're constantly putting out this Death Toucher, and mind you, if the Death Toucher dies to being blocked or dies to removal, you don't get the return something. But I don't know, the fact that this can be removal, aggro, and card recursion for 2 CP is really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think it's amazing. I don't think it's gonna be meta warping or meta defining, but like, it's cool. It's good. Also, it's a 2-drop, so it fits in Una.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Like Unidex run Earth. You can tap this on your turn. Like, that's cool. That's useful. Like, I like Unidex? No, no, I don't. I don't like stall mechanics like that. But for people who do like it, you know, okay, fair enough. You got it. You got a new tool. You got a new toy to play with.
yeah. I could even see this in like kind of like a value monster deck that uses Earth. I don't know. I'm still pining
Oh,
for the good
absolutely.
old days of Mira.
I still want a water earth monster deck to be like really
To
big.
pop off.
I've been I've tried to make it happen many times since like Opus 5 or Opus 6, and it just never really worked out. We've been close a few times, you know, there've been decks that are kind of there, but yeah, it hasn't ever really quite been like in the meta. It's always been like a tier 3, tier 4 kind of thing. So, we can hope. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and then I feel like we have to bring up the obvious point: sealed. This card's probably going to be very fun in pre-release. It's going to be
Yeah,
fun in draft. Like
definitely.
it's a free point of damage. It reminds me of. I'm
Mhm.
struggling to remember his name. He was the War the Visions card that was he would buff himself, and then if he landed, you got to add a card back. Do you remember?
Was it Balo?
It might have been. He was also an Earth card. He was an Earth Dragoon, I think.
Oh, ooh, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Durando.
Yes, yes, yeah, Lorando. Yeah, I. That card was also scary in pre-release, and mind you, he didn't kill himself, but Mandragora like is a small version of him with Death Touch. Like that's nice.
Yeah.
Like that's
It's
super
just
nice.
over curve. It's just over curve for a monster. Yeah. And your opponent can't board wipe it on their turn unless they use one of the more expensive board wipes. So,
And also,
that's cool.
obviously in sealed, they're not going to have that much removal. And the fact that it's
Exactly.
not a monster, or the fact that it's not a forward on their turn, also helps.
Yeah. I think it's worth mentioning though that like in theory anything can be scary and sealed in the right circumstances. So I try not to fixate on that too much. Um but that being said, it's still worth mentioning, of
But
course.
it's extra scary and sealed, like two
Oh
mana
yeah.
Death Toucher, like especially when
Yeah, death touch in particular is the scary part.
yeah, especially when like a vanilla 9K is such a threat.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and like a lot of things in the current meta, even so outside sealed, right? A lot of things in the current meta don't have first strike. So it's like it's still kind of a niche thing. It's a narrow thing, even though it's on more cards than ever, obviously, because we always get more cards with it. But like, not a lot of decks use first strike right now. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see. I guess we're gonna have to see where this one goes and how it fits itself into the meta.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to pulling the foil and putting it into a slab.
Hell yeah, I always do.
But all right.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and we'll catch you soon with some more regular content.
Yep, we promise.
Thanks for listening.